what's up, people? Day 2 with our Godzilla shenanigans. I am here in the studio real quick. I have to get a few tools first before I head out into the shop area. So if you haven't seen the first video or day 1 of all the Godzilla stuff, be sure and check that one out. That way you get up to speed on what we've done this far. But real quick, some bullet points. We removed the factory K-member, factory suspension, as well as prepared the Godzilla aftermarket K-member and the 4R70W transmission. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be lowering the car down onto the engine, K-member, and transmission assembly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and clear the air. There's gonna be a lot of trial, there's gonna be a lot of air, okay? Parts gonna go on, parts are gonna come off, and everything in between. I mean, after all, that's the nature of the beast with this type of stuff. And the beauty of it is we're gonna bring you guys along for the ride. So stay tuned, a lot of good stuff coming. Let's roll it. Okay, so what we're doing right now, Hubbard's trying to formulate a plan on how we can keep this entire assembly straight or as parallel as we can, so we can get it over here underneath the car. That way we can drop the car back down out. All right, people, here's what we got. We got some 2x6s supporting front of the transmission pan. We also have another 2x6 underneath the dowels, or the provisions for the steering rack bushings. This is on a pretty hefty cart, and we also took our ratchet strap and strapped it underneath the upper deck of this cart. So we're about to pull the cherry picker and roll this underneath the car. All right, almost forgot. 4R70W, it's bolted to the engine. This is our mock-up stand. What we gotta do real quick, we have to put a transmission cross member on this thing. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, what do we got here? So there's our transmission mount. There's our cross member. And this cross member is actually for a T5 AOD application, correct? But being that this is a 4R70W,
this is a different cross member.
It'll bolt right up. Got our mount going into place here.
3/4.
Maybe 18.
4/4.
4/4, yeah. All right, so before we drop the car over our engine and transmission, Hubbard and I are bolting up the transmission mount and the cross member. Yellow zinc that adds to our silver black theme here, and hammer tone. Bushings going in, maybe. Slide for adjustability. Okay, so we were getting ready and doing some final inspections before we drop the car down on our engine and transmission assembly, and we noticed we've got some boogered up, damaged transmission crossmember plates. That one's all right, but it's got a little dent here on the rearward side. So what do we got here, Hubbard? Those are our replacement pieces. So that's going to require us to drill out all the spot welds, clean up all this area, get it prepped for to be welded into place. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Okay, so we've used our transmission mount repair kit that we have on the site. We just got it tacked into place. A little more work to do on that one, but for what we have right now, this will easily hold our transmission. The other side, we'll probably just massage it back into place, as it only just has a little hickey right here. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll get the engine transmission assembly, we'll position underneath the car, and we'll get rolling.
Okay. Alright, okay, I'm going, bro.
Dang it. About to slide her on back.
Oh, only got steering wheels on one end.
I know, I hate carts like that. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Well, it's in position. So we'll know shortly if we have firewall clearance with the factory manifolds whenever we lower the car.
I gotta come forward just a little bit. Alright, I guess we're close.
We use that for reference to line our K-member hole in the frame rail to our hole in the K-member. All right, Hubbard, come on down. Well, amongst our excitement, like many things, we forgot to pull our factory hoist brackets. So we'll probably just leave the front one on. It's not interfering with anything, but as we were lowering this car down over the engine, we did notice that this bracket was going to interfere with that section of the firewall. Just zip these bolts out, get that bracket off.
I think that's a 17.
Possibly, maybe 18.
Oh yeah.
And I always like to challenge myself too, see if I can guess the socket. Now we should be ready. And then what we've done as well, pull the dipstick out of the tube, catch it so no debris or anything like that gets down in there, and we've just scooted the engine just a little bit to the driver's side so we could clear the framework. All right, Hubbard, I'm on that. It's disappearing. All right, let's check this. We're good back here, Hubbard. We're good on this side. Oh, wow. Okay, our brake booster that we put in there, right? Just to see if it would work. That's not gonna work.
Not gonna work.
No. All right, folks, so we've got the car lowered enough. The underside of the frame rail to the top of the cab member, it's about 6 to 7 inches, give or take, away from each other. So if we come back up here, we go to the engine bay, installing a 93 Cobra booster in the car, of course, because we wanted to see if that would clear, and no, it won't clear. You see how close it is to that ignition coil back there. I mean, we're talking 1/4 inch. So yeah, that definitely has to come out. So we're gonna take that out of the car. We'll probably just leave, we probably won't even put a Hydro Boost assembly back in the car. We'll just leave it open for now, just to get the engine set in. And then as time goes on, we'll see where we're at on that. Yeah, look at that. All right, so change of plans. I said we weren't gonna put anything back in it, we are. We put the Hydro Boost assembly back in it. We're hitting our steering shaft back there.
What part did it hit? The valve cover?
Yes, at the corner of the valve cover back there, lower section.
So we have to come forward, go around it, and get underneath it.
Yes. So now once it passes.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's barely making
You really
contact.
see it from underneath. We got plenty of room forward, right?
Yeah, we have plenty of room forward. You are right.
So that's it. Do we clear it?
Okay. Yeah, we're good on this side. We're good down here. Hop up there and take a look at the firewall. Oh wow, we got all the room back there. That's looking good in there. Throttle body, cut the hood. All right, we've made progress. We're coming on down. Our gap is shrinking between our K-member and our frame rail. We're gonna slide a bolt up into place. Oh, hold on, Hubbard. Remember that bolt fell out? Okay, I got it back in there. Got it started.
Okay.
That's the last bolt.
Do you want
The
to
K-member?
put something in the back hole?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, we don't have a nut plate on there, do we?
Oh man, no nut plate.
But in order for us to go from here, we're gonna have to find us a cross member.
Okay, so what we've noticed, just real quick, we're pretty much at max adjustment on both of our tubes and as well as our center slots here on our cross member with our transmission mount. So what we'll probably have to do, we'll probably have to switch mounts, get something with some more adjustability. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pop this one off. We'll go ahead and do that right now. Put these young knees to work down here, Hubbard. Hell yeah! Okay, so instead of fighting with a cross member, of course, this is mock-up, evaluation, inspection, however you want to word it. So what we've done, block of wood with a chain here through the tunnel. And that is around the tail shaft of the transmission. So that'll hold this section where we need it to and basically simulate your cross member. So at this point, we'll do some final checks and then unstrap our cart. Okay. All right, Hubbard.
But no space for a steering shaft with that exhaust manifold over there.
So you can see where the hole in the sill is for the steering shaft. It's going to come out and it's going to immediately make contact with the factory manifold.
But if you're running the manifolds pointed forward in the turbo, then it's good.
Yeah, so every Godzilla swap requires turbo. Rear flange here almost makes contact with the firewall. But given the circumstance of engine swaps, more than likely, you know, an aftermarket header will be available. I'd also like to point out, I've talked about this earlier in the video, looking at a factory box body sway bar bracket. These have been cut off. This is an art research and development car, so we cut these off in development. Our SN95 style Coyote swap relocation kit for the sway bar, which is of course who we market it to. But in a sense, for this application, given our area here for the lower section of the bar, a sway bar relocation, if of course you're going to be running a sway bar. Oh, Hubbard, you're reading my mind. You are reading my mind.
The factory bracket, the bar would be right here where the compressor is at. So that gives you your space.
There's clearance here underneath the oil pan. And this is an SN95 sway bar. Specifically, this is off a 95 Cobra R. Those are our reproduction SN95 style sway bar mounts in conjunction with our relocation kit. That's definitely something that's going to work, possibly.
You're hitting this rotor over there.
No, we're hitting the oil pan right here. See, rotor's clear, so hitting the oil pan, and so maybe not.
Well,
a lot to consider.
Now you're shimming that a little bit.
Yeah, pushing that down away from the frame rail. Definitely all evaluation at this point. Still very early.
How much further down is
in the
oil
swap
pan than the rest of the bottom of the car?
Golly. Look how far it hangs in relation to that transmission pan. That's your speed bump feeler. All right, folks, Hubbard and I, we've been working hard. We've done a few things off camera, but I'm gonna spin you around and get you up to speed on where we're at right now in our Godzilla mock-up. So what we've done, we have utilized the factory front lower control arm. They are installed into our Team ZK member. We did have to widen the tabs, or we did have to widen the provisions just a little bit to get those in there. And it kind of fought us a little bit, but of course being able to work off a lift, it makes it a little bit easier. We did use a spring perch. You can see that tucked up inside there. Lowering spring, we've got a sway bar mocked up as well. This is using our Coyote swap sway bar relocation kit. What it does is it removes the factory Fox sway bar bracket and basically converts it to like an SN95 style. This is our bracket, this is our kit, and the bar that is on the car is actually off of a 95 Cobra R. So theoretically, we can call it, you know, SN95 sway bar. Check it out. We've got a power steering pump on there. No pulley. They didn't have one, of course. You know, as the evaluation progresses or goes on, you know, that's something, you know, we may add back in or add back onto that power steering pump, inspect and evaluate it. And we are also going to put an AC compressor up there for you guys for reference. We'll get the car back down and get an engine bay view, but here is one of our AC hoses coming from our compressor. I mean, if you're looking under here, it's gonna need exhaust. There's really no way to make these factory exhaust manifolds work. So you'll need, as the aftermarket or as the time goes on and people produce and manufacture parts, we'll probably definitely see some sort of shorty header, long tube header, mid-length, whatever the case may be. We'll probably see those come down the pipeline. So that's pretty much the underside of the car. Like I said, we'll get it lowered down, give you kind of an overview of what the top side looks like. All right, so here's the top side. There was the Hydro Boost assembly I was referencing. There's definitely some clearance there. So if you want power steering, power assist brakes, with the Godzilla, you'll definitely have to run 9604 Hydro Boost. Trickle over here, just some mock-up hoses, just for reference, manifold attachment, and then here's our AC accumulator for mock-up as well. I don't know if you guys can see down there with the heat shield on that factory manifold, very, very close to that frame rail. Still clears on this side, but that upward bolt hole there towards the back, there's no, because of the angle, there's no room to get a stud or bolt through there to connect to mid-pipe. So again, you're definitely going to have an aftermarket header. And then way back down in there on the driver's side, the steering shaft, wherever it comes through the firewall, through its seal, it runs right smack dab into that manifold. So again, definitely going to have some sort of header solution. All right, people, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed tinkering, showing everyone you know, we're the current status of a Godzilla and a Fox body Mustang. There's no doubt about it. It's still very, very early. A lot of stuff to do to make this swap happen. And if we think about it, the Coyote swap, or the Coyote engine in general, at the time of this video, it's been out 11 years. So, you know, it's had well over a decade to develop a following for aftermarket companies in the entire industry, you know, to support the swap. And, you know, hopefully that's the case for the Godzilla. So until next time, guys, you like the Shop Talk video, subscribe to the channel for more of it, like the video, turn on notifications, that way you're notified, you know, anytime we release something new. And until next time, Hubbard and I will catch you guys later. Keep it right here with the Real Enthusiasts, LMR.com.